Oh, hi folks. Well, it's that time of week again where I go and review a TV show I'd rather not watch. Also known as the Book of Blah Blah Blah. Better known as the Wheel of Torture. So kick back, grab a beer, and empty your brain because you're not going to need it with this TV show. And odds are, if you watched it for an extended period of time, you're probably brain dead, much like myself. Roll that intro, Grant. I'm going to go get myself some bourbon. It's the only thing that makes reviewing the show more palatable, if there was such a thing. Episode 4! Oh, I'm sorry, they call it chapters. Chapter 4, The Gathering Storm. Written by Jon Flava Flav Favreau himself, and directed by some guy named Kevin Tangerine. I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce his name, but I honestly don't care. Once again, we get an episode that opens with Bla Bla Fett lying in his back to tank, contemplating the failures of his life. And to be honest with you folks, that's pretty much how I feel whenever I watch this show and do a review on it. God, please tell me. What have I done to deserve this crap? Sitting around and watching crappy TV shows on Disney+. Oh, that's right, I find it fucking hilarious and entertaining. So this episode's all about how Fennec Shand got her robot parts and how Bla Bla Fett got his ship back. Also known as Slave 1, which Disney's doing their damnedest to try and erase because apparently it's offensive now. From now on, they're gonna go and call it the Fire Spray. What's the worst that could go wrong here? Causing Star Wars fans to lose more respect for Disney. Not that Star Wars fans had much respect for Disney after The Last Jedi, just saying. So Bla Bla Fett goes and randomly stumbles onto Fennec Shand and goes and saves her life because he's such a swell guy after hanging out with those Tusken Raiders all those years. But rather than take her to an actual doctor because she's been gut shot, he takes her to one of the mod parlors and they proceed to replace all of her internal organs with droid parts. How does that even work? And I'll be honest with you folks, she probably should have died. I mean, they're doing this operation and she's like wearing her street clothes, which is not what happens when you go through a major surgery. And then when he's done, Bla Bla Fett's like, hey, you gonna close her up? And the guy's like, yeah, but all those droid parts are beautiful, so we gotta show them off. And then he goes and dumps them out in the street. And they're back out in the sand again. I mean, the lady just had like major surgery, had all of her internal organs replaced, and she's literally out there laying in the desert like nothing happened. Fucking stupid. And literally 5 minutes after the surgery, Bla Bla Fett's like, hey, you owe me one because I saved your life, and I need your help getting my starship from Jabba's palace, which has been parked there for the last 5 years, and nobody bothered touching it, or stealing it, or moving it, or taking it to an impound lot. Nah, it's been there the whole time. And because this is Disney and Bla Bla Fett is a legacy character, he has to come off as a complete incompetent boob. Boba Fett, probably one of the most notorious bounty hunters in the galaxy, infamously known for disintegrating people. I mean, literally, that's like his reputation. No disintegrations. Can't even catch a fucking rabbit bot in the kitchen. No, Ultimately, it was Fennec Shand that had to go help him out, because legacy characters can't outshine their new Disney Plus counterparts. This kind of treatment is not exactly new. After all, this happened with Marvel Comics, also known as All New, All Disney. Oh, I'm sorry, that was All New, All Different. Anyway, after the incident at the kitchen, Bla Bla Fett and Fennec Shand head to the hangar bay to go and get the ship. Naturally, Fennec Shand goes and kicks a lot of ass, and Bla Bla Fett can barely pilot his own ship. Ramming into walls and shit. It's embarrassing. No disintegrations. Now, to be fair, I do have to kind of point out that there is a design flaw with the ship. When it's horizontal, you really can't see shit. Now, my counterpoint to that is the fact that Bla Bla Fett has had their ship for years, so you'd think you would know better. But no, it's up to Fennec Shand to go and save our mamsel Bla Bla Fett. This actually happens multiple times in the episode. You think that they would actually be working together as partners? Nah. After liberating Slave 1 from Jabba's palace, note the hint of irony in that statement, Bla Bla Fett and Fennec Shand go and wipe out the speeder bike gang that went and killed the Tusken Raiders. So far in 4 episodes, this is the only time that Bla Bla Fett actually feels like Boba Fett. And then he proceeds to go over to the Sarlacc pit to go recover his armor. Wait a second. Now I'm gonna go point out a huge plot hole here. Bla Bla Fett admits he survived the Sarlacc pit because of the armor, but for some reason thinks it's still in the Sarlacc pit, despite crawling out of it with the armor on. Now there's been people going and defending this, saying that he was in a weakened state and doesn't remember what's going on, and to a degree I'd give you some of that, but after all, he did make it out alive with the armor on. I can see him not remembering who took the armor, but to think that it's still in the Sarlacc pit? That's stupid. That's what we call a plot hole, or because reasons. And what exactly are those reasons? Well, I guess to make Bla Bla Fett look like a bigger idiot. Because you know what he does, folks? He takes the ship and he hovers it right over the Sarlacc pit. It gets closer and closer and closer. And the Sarlacc pit finally wakes up and grabs onto the ship and tries pulling it in. And because Bla Bla Fett is such an ignoramus, it's up to Fennec Shand to go and save the day. She sees a flashing button and pushes it. You know, that could have been the self-destruct button. It's not. It just so happens to release one of the sonic mines. But it could have blown the ship up. Oh, and the best part, Bla Bla Fett's like, stop pushing my buttons. That's literally a line in this episode. I'm pretty sure that was an audience self-insert, because I was thinking the exact same thing. Anyway, Fennec Shand goes and kills Sarlacc pit, and Fett goes dumpster diving without any kind of protection. The dude literally climbs back into the Sarlacc pit just wearing a robe, and is like, perfectly fine. Never mind the fact that he said previously that the armor saved his life. Are you fucking kidding me, Disney? Do you think your audience is really that stupid? Don't answer that. And finally, we get an end to Dreams of a Bacta tank because Bla Bla Fett finally emerged fully healed. Meanwhile, back at Sanctuary, Black Carnation Instant Breakfast is watching the Trans-Reptilians gambling and gets pissed off for some reason. And we're treated to yet another bloodless action scene where he goes and rips off somebody's arm. Not a drop of blood. Safe and sanitized for your protection because this is Disney Plus. Now, when I was in high school, I witnessed a tragic shop accident where somebody got their arm sawed off by a bandsaw. Not exactly sure how he pulled it off, but I have to say it was kind of impressive. Needless to say, we were all sprayed with blood, and it required a lot of mop and buckets to clean it up. Calm down, YouTube. It was just a joke. It was only a finger, but it was traumatizing nonetheless. I guess that explains a lot. Anyway, Bla Bla Fett shows up right when the incident happens and is like, you know what? I need to recruit you. And even though the Wookiee tried murdering him in the previous episode, it's like, alright. And finally, this episode ends with Bla Bla Fett going and sitting down with all the crime bosses of Mos Espa. And he's like, hey, I gotta take on the Pike Syndicate. You wanna help? And everyone's like, nah, we'll be fine. You can do it yourself. And Bla Bla Fett's like, well, that was a complete waste of time. Much like this episode. And it concludes with the theme song for The Mandalorian. Because we all know what this is. Mandalorian Season 2.5. Now, there's a nasty rumor floating around that ever since Disney fired Gina Carano, that they had to go install a bit as they went and retooled Mandalorian Season 3. And that's the reason why we got the Book of Boba Fett instead. Because it was nothing more than a stalling tactic for them to go and figure out what to do next. Now, I don't know if this rumor is true, but it sure does feel like it. Great job, Disney. You made me care even less about a franchise I no longer care about. Well, now that I'm done with this review, I'm gonna do something less painful and drive a 2x4 through my eyeball. Calm down, YouTube, it's only a joke. I'm actually just gonna go and use a flamethrower instead.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. A huge thanks to all the Subscribe Star supporters. Without you, Comics Division would probably be crying in a corner somewhere. Well, hello there, big spenders. HMStix Roger the Shrubber and Toxic Man Flu. I'm a sucker with a lot of dough. Crazy Catguy, MrGrantGregory, DJ-O, and David Blair. Take my money, damnit. Katina Martin, Brahmabull, Commander Ed STRAKER of Shadow, TerminusEst, Elagabalus, DariusM, Commenting is Dangerous, Salty Texas C, LDH27513, subscriber number 22F2C6C3, J.A.F.O, Dexidoodle, Mech AG94, and that 70s-rock-fan. I'll buy that for $1. Captain Trek, TZ Canadian, Chris from the 80s, Stand 4, John B., Colin Douglas, and Jenna Lyn. Thank you all for watching. You are awesome.